Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 4, Episode 33. This morning we have a bonus puzzle set by Clover, one of my all-time favorite constructors, and it is a Kakuro. She normally sets Sudoku puzzles on her Patreon feed that I subscribe to, but occasionally a Kakuro comes in through that, and they are always phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to today's, especially since it should be a little bit on the easier end for what I'm used to from Clover, and a little bit on the hard end from what we're used to on this channel. So I'm hoping that hits the sweet spot. As always with these bonus puzzles, you can go back in the archive and watch a solve of a slightly easier one in the past days. You can also go ahead and skip through the rules straight to the puzzle if you're familiar with it. But for those who are not or just need a refresher, let's take a look at the rules. In a Kakuro puzzle, we will place digits, which all have to be from 1 to 9, no zeros, in the white squares in the grid so that digits that see each other don't repeat. So this is a little bit like a Sudoku constraint, sort of, or a Latin square, in that we don't have repeating numbers in rows and columns. But the distinction is this next rule. Digits can repeat within the same row or column as long as there's a gray square in between them. So, back to see each other. This is a somewhat informal way of saying in the same row or column, but not blocked by a square. So, for example, these squares all see each other. In this column, this one doesn't see this one, which is why they're allowed to be the same number. They're blocked by this gray square. Each clue gives the sum of the digits that it sees in a straight line. A clue at the top right of its cell sees the line of digits to its right, up to the next gray cell. A clue at the bottom left of its cell sees the line of digits below it, up to the next gray cell. So, for example, this 7 clue here is in the bottom left triangle, which means it is referring to the 2 cells below it. This is a fairly intuitive where the clues go, but here's an example here. This square could have possibly 2 clues. This one in this position would refer to the cells below. One in this position refers to the cells to the right. And as you can see, 3 plus 9 equals 12. Those are the rules of Kakuro. So it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's Kakuro puzzle was set by Clover. Let's take a look at the tiny clues first. Tiny and large, as always, is our break-in. A 3 in 2 cells has to be a 1 and a 2. I'm just going to do the horizontal ones first. And tiny is relative to the number of cells. So a 6 is a 1, 2, 3 in 3 cells. A 4 in 2 cells is a 1, 3. Just scanning through, let's mark all these up. 4 is a 1, 3. 4 is a 1, 3. 10 in 4 cells is 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's the triangular number for 4. 42, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's maximized. I'll get back to that in a second. And this 4 is 1, 3. 4 is 1, 3. 6 is 1, 2, 3. 6 is 1, 2, 3. And then going vertically, we're going to start to eliminate some possibilities, because right off the bat, we got 4 in 2 cells, has to be a 1, 3, but this one can't be a 3. So this is the 1, this is the 3, this is the 2. And over here, this 4 is the other, this is just another 1, 3, and it's the same number as that, whichever one it ends up being. Let's see, this 6 is a 1, 2, 3. We can eliminate 4 from here as we enter in our 1, 2, 3. And 1, 3 here. 7 is 1, 2, 4. which gives us this being a 1, and these two are not 1s. This is a 1, this is a 3. This 4 is now complete with the 3 there, gives us a 1 there. 4 has to be a 1 and a 3. 4 has to be a 1 and a 3. We're seeing the same thing over and over here. Okay, that was a bunch of the easy stuff. We could also do, and will, do the same kinds of things with large numbers. Let me just give you one of those as an example. 42 in 7 cells. I know what that is. Partly I know that because of doing Sudoku puzzles and knowing that, as on Cracking the Cryptic, they call it the secret. The numbers 1 through 9 add up to 45, the triangular number for 9. And 42 is awful close to 45. It's just 3 away. And this is almost 9 cells. It's only 2 away. So what sprung into my head is there are 2 leftover cells and a value of 3 left over. And so basically we have to fit a 3 into 2 cells, which is a 1 and a 2. So that's how I backed into the fact that a 42 is going to be everything except for 1 and 2. Now, I could notate that by going 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 all the way down. I don't know that that's very useful. But in both of these cases, what we do know is that 1 and 2 don't appear in these 2 answers. And in particular, I think that's going to be useful in both places, but down here it's glaringly obvious. Right here we said this was a 2 or a 4, but a 1 and a 2 don't appear here. So this is a 4, this is a 2, and over here this can't be a 1 for the same reason. So this is a 3, this is a 1. Let's finish up these clues that are obviously done now, because there's only as soon as you get if a row or a column is clued, and I believe in this puzzle they are all clued. That isn't a guarantee in a Kakuro. If it is clued and all but one of the cells are filled in, we can just do some subtraction to fill the last one in. So 10 minus 1 is 9, and 8 minus 1 minus 2 is 5. An 8, I'm trying to figure out how to do this in an organized fashion. I see so many opportunities that it's a little hard to focus. We got 42s in these columns as well that are still 7 long, so exactly the same reasoning applies as before. So let's do that one. So this is not a 1 or a 2, it's a 3 with a 1 there, and 10 minus 1 is 9. In this column, none of these things can be 1s or 2s, so that makes this one a 3. This can't be a 1, 2, or 3, so it is a 4. And that will take 4 out of that row. It will take 3 out of this row, and that tells us this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 1. 8 minus 2 minus 1 is 5. Okay, have we dried up that line of thinking? Not quite. 6 minus 2 is 4. That leaves us 4 to put in these 2 cells. That's a 1 and a 3, and the 3 can't be here. So this is the 1, this is the 3. We've got, again, I'm seeing so many options for what to do next. I'm just deciding what's the most interesting. 20 is kind of interesting. 20 in 3 cells. You can do that a lot of ways, but one of the numbers here is very small. And if we maximize this, if we make it the biggest it possibly can be, which is a 3, we're still left with 17 to fit in 2 cells. And the only way you can do that is with an 8 and a 9. So these are 8 and 9, and this is a 3, meaning that these two are not 3s. There's a 9 clue in this row. This obviously now can't be a 9, because if it were, there'd be nothing left to put in the other cell. So this is the 8, this is the 9. The 8, 9 minus 8 is 1. 12 minus 9 is 3. And we have a 2 left in this column. We have a 1 left in this row. So that takes care of that portion of the grid. Let's see what I've skipped because it was slightly more difficult. A 7 in 3 cells is 1, 2, 4. That's the only option. There's no 3 in that 1, 2, 4. So this is the 1. These are 2 and 4. And this is a 3 because that's what's left over. 9. Okay, so let's go a little bit of a step further where we are subtracting 2 options instead of having only one thing we can do. 9 minus 2 would be 7. 9 minus 4 would be 5. So this is either a 7 or a 5. But looking at that column, 9 minus 7 would leave us with 2. That's not enough. So this is going to be the 5. 9 minus 3 minus 5 gives us 1. And 9 minus 5 gives us 4. So this is a 2. 12 minus 2 minus 1 gives us 9 to put in 2 cells. There's a ton of ways to do that, but we've actually used up a couple of them. We can't have a 1 or a 2 in there. So this is either a 3 and a 6, or it's a 4 and a 5. I guess we can go ahead and notate that, even though it's some options, because these will put pressure on that. So if it's a 3 and a 6, the 3 goes here, and the 6 goes here. If it's a 4 and a 5, the 5 goes here, and the 4 goes here. That will resolve itself, I'm sure, pretty soon. Let's look at these little clues that have some possibilities in the other cell. A 6 can't be 2 3s, so this isn't a 3. It's either a 2 and a 4, or it's a 1 and a 5. And the 5 is either 1 4, 2 3, or 3 2. There's a lot of choices, but I bet this 8 will help us decide which ones are possible. If this were a 4, this has to be at least a 4, and so that's too much. We wouldn't have anything to put in here. So this is not a 4, and therefore this is not a 1. How about a 3? Is that okay? 3, 4, 1. Yeah, that can barely work. So it seems like both of these options are kosher. This 8, other than being able to say it needs a 1, I don't see what we can do there without a lot of bifurcation, which I try not to do. 5 down here in 2 clues is going to be 1 4, 2 3, or 3 2. Are any of those impossible with the row? I don't think they are yet. A 12 in 3, lots of options there. 5 in 2 cells is either 1 4 or 2 3, and if it's 2 3, the 3 can't go in this row. And it can't have a 1 or a 2 in this cell because of this 42 clue. Those are doing a lot more work than I expected. So this is the 4, and that makes this a 1, and a 10 minus 1 is a 9. I wonder if this 6 is likewise constrained. This clue can't be a 1 or a 2 because it's in a 42 row. Can't be a 3. Can't be a 4. So it must be a 5 because 6 is too much. 6 minus 5 is 1. 9 minus 1 is 8. What is left? Now we've got few enough that I might as well notate it. So we can't have a 1 or a 2. We've used up 3 and 4. So 5, 6, and 7 are left. This can't be a 5. This can't be a 5. So this is the 5. That should be enough to tell us what's going on with the 8, because 8 minus 5 is 3, and a 3 in 2 cells has to be a 1 and a 2. So the 1 goes here, and the 2 goes here. Oops, the 2 goes here. That was a 5. The 1 gives us a 3 here, and a 1 here. 12 minus 1 minus 2 is 9. And now we can say what's left in this row. We can't have a 1, can't have a 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a 6, a 7, and an 8 left to place. None of those immediately eliminated to my eyes. This 42 row, what's left here? Can't have a 1 or a 2. 3, 4, 5 are used. Is 6, 7, 8 again. I missed a write-in right here. So we've got 8 minus 3 minus 1 gives us 4. 4 knocks out this 4, making this a 6, knocking 6 out of these two options. And this should be defined. 12 minus 6 is 6, minus 2 minus 1 gives us 3. We are left with a couple 3 option choices there. I think that this 12 is quite vulnerable because I don't think this can be an 8. If this were an 8, 12 minus 8 is 4. We can't do 4 in 3 cells. 3 cells is going to add up to at least 6. So this can be at most 6 to add to 12. So in fact, it is 6. That gives us 1, 2, 3 for the rest of this column. And will tell us that this 6 will tell us that this is a 7. This is an 8. That makes this a 7, this a 6, this an 8. All we have is the bottom of the grid and the top of the grid. Let's do the bottom since we've penciled in most of it already. 8 is going to have a 1 in it. What can we say about... what can we say about that? I think that's going to have to be our break-in because the 6 here is effectively done. We already know it's 1, 2, 3. It's going to be how the 8's going to be constrained in some way. If this is a 3, that makes this a 1, and that makes this a 4. Fine. If this is a 2, then we've got 6 left. We can't do that because 6 left is going to have to be 1, 5. There's no 5 in here. Or 2, 4, and there's no 2 or 4 over here. So this is not a 2. Now we've got a 1 and a 3 here, which forces this to be a 4, and that'll collapse the rest of it. 5 minus 4 is 1. We've used up the 1, that's a 3, that's a 1, that's a 3, that's the 2, that's the 1. We've done the bottom of the grid. What's left up here? The 14 is going to tell us, I'm sure. Well, actually, this 8 tells us more than it is obvious because I know that an 8 in 3 cells has to have a 1 in it. If it didn't, the smallest we could make things would be 2, 3, 4, and that's already 9. So there is a 1 here, and it's not in either of these, so it goes here. Oops. I don't know what I just did there. Oh, my finger slipped a bit. Okay, so that is not a 1. And what do we have left? 14 minus 8 minus 1 gives us 5. So we got a 2, 3, or a 3, 2. But we've got a 2, 3 pair here, which makes that a 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. 8 minus 5 minus 1 is 2. 5 minus 3 is 3. Now we've just write in the rest of it. That's the 2. And finally, that's the 3. And that, my friends, is how we solve a Kakuro.